What is up, everybody? Wyvern here. I'm coming to you today with some more Pokemon Go PvP Regional Cup strategy. We're going to be taking an extensive look today at whether or not Latios and Latias are viable. Spoiler alert, if you watched my last video, they are. That video is going to be linked down in the description. Latias was a great help for me and ended up being a great pick. So we're going to be doing some practice matches with them today and see how they can do against some of the different matchups. Let's dive into it.
Alright, so these matches are going to be shot with Andrew. Unfortunately, he doesn't have all of the meta Pokemon, so we're not able to test them against some of the Metachams and the Sableyes and the Azumarils of the tournament. But he does have an Altaria, so we're going to take a look at that, since that's a pretty comparable matchup. This first match is going to be played without shields, just to kind of see who would win in this matchup with no shields. It ends up being Altaria, which is surprising, especially jumping into the Latios versus Altaria matchup a little bit later. Latios and Latias both have better stats all around than Altaria, and both of mine had a higher CP than his Altaria, so I'm not really sure how that panned out. The rest of this match is just kind of closing it out. It's not entirely necessary, but I kept it in here just so we can kind of watch how it finishes as I talk about Altaria a bit. Or I apologize, Latios and Latias. So Latias has a higher defense stat than Latios, but Latios has a higher attack stat than Latias. They have the exact same stamina, sitting at 190, and they're both around the 210-240 range for the better of the attack and defense, respectively. For that, Latias, you're going to want Dragon Breath, Thunder, and Outrage. Unfortunately, I was only able to get Thunder on mine, so if you're only able to get one move, I would probably recommend Thunder, just because it's going to be super effective against Azumaril and Skarmory primarily, whereas Outrage is going to be doing neutral damage, albeit Stab. Thunder is a bit more of a, I don't want to say useful pick, but it's probably the better pick to go with. Latios, you're going to want to run Dragon Breath as well, and then with that, you're going to want to run Dragon Claw, because if you're able to spam Dragon Breath, Dragon Claw, I feel like you're going to be in pretty good position, as we'll see in the next matchup with Latios, which we're going to be getting to in just a second here. We just have to finish out this match. But then with that Dragon Claw, you're going to want to run Solar Beam on Latios, again, to take care of those water types that you're going to be facing. But now that this match is just about over, oh my bad, he has one more Pokemon. Unfortunately for him, it's a Whiscash. That's another one of the meta Pokemon he has, which is the main reason I brought Tropius with me to Regionals. But having that last shield left, I am going to be able to close out this match. Like I said, doesn't really matter. Wanted to include the whole clip, so I had a little bit of time to talk about Latios and Latias. So let's jump on over to the next matchup. So similarly to this last matchup with Latias versus Altaria, this is Latios versus Altaria, and we're going to be going no shields again, just to see who has the upper hand here. These matches are all in Great League, since the only Latios I was able to get was 1533, and my bad, I meant Ultra League. So we're playing with Great League Pokemon minus the Latios, just to kind of see how it would do in these matchups. So it is a bit more powerful, but as you'll see here, it's able to knock out that Altaria before dying, unlike the Latias. And he's going to sub in Charizard. We're able to Dragon Breath it enough to get off that Dragon Claw before it lands his. So two of the Pokemon in this meta that would be considered potential Latios counters, it's able to almost drop both of them in one fell swoop without using any shields. So that is something to keep in mind. Latios with Dragon Claw Solar Beam could be very viable in this format if you're able to get one. I'm interested to see what a Dragon Claw does here, but unfortunately Andrew uses that Blast Burn instead. And then Caleb Pang, if you're watching this, my man, here's that Latias versus Lugia matchup. I'm going to shield the Sky Attack he throws at me because I figure it's going to knock me out, and I'm interested to see what a Thunder would do to Lugia. I thought it would do a good chunk of damage. I wasn't sure if it would knock it out or not, but we will see that it does knock it out once we're able to get it off, along with that Dragon Breath. So this definitely would have been an interesting matchup to play against in the tournament. And there we'll see it finishing off that Lugia. This last matchup is going to be run with shields. I'm running both Latios and Latias to see how they do as a pair, and I'm running a Salamence just for fun. It's my favorite Pokemon. I'm not trying to win this match, so I just threw it in there as a placeholder. But we're going to start off with that Latios versus Altaria matchup, and we're going to see who comes out on top of this when we are using shields. I was very surprised to see that I'm in the yellow before Altaria is, despite having a better attack, better defense, and better HP than Altaria, it is still going to win this match on Dragon Breath alone before we're able to get off that second Dragon Claw. And it still has, I know it's in the red, but it still has a decent chunk of health left. So we're going to come in with that Latios, shield the what I expect to be a Sky attack. For some reason, he has Dazzling Gleam on it. Not entirely sure why there. I think he was trying to catch me off guard. Still not sure why it's not Dragon Pulse, but we are able to finish off the Altaria. Unfortunately, he comes in with that Alolan Ninetales, and having Latios and Salamence, that's pretty much going to spell the end of us this match. We're going to try and see what a Thunder does to it here, just because I was curious, and obviously had to use my charge move. But he was able to shield it before I told him not to see how it did. So we're going to shield the Ice Beam, or Dazzling Gleam, just kidding, once again. We're going to shield that Dazzling Gleam, but with it resisting that Dragon Breath, we're not able to get off a second Thunder before we die. We're going to throw in the very squishy and offensive, heavily not defensive Salamence. It's going to resist that bite with no shields. Ice Beam's going to finish us off. Once again, Dazzling Gleam. Always confusing me, Andrew.
So as I said, I will be linking my regional tournament video down in the description just because I used Latios a lot for that. So you'll be able to see how it does against some of the top threats in the meta. You'll be able to see how it does against Medicham and Skarmory and all of the main meta Pokemon like that. Unfortunately, you're not able to see that Lugia matchup against Caleb Peng, but we were able to get that in practice with Andrew here. Overall, if you're able to get a Latios, I would pick that over Latios. I probably wouldn't run both of them just because they're such similar playstyles, but if you're able to get either or, I would definitely run it. If you're able to get those two moves, run it without consideration. If you're only able to get one move, then I get if you're kind of wanting to maybe throw something else in your team instead. But I had a great time using Latios. It broke the meta. A lot of people weren't expecting it, and it was able to win me some of those key matchups. With that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be on the lookout later this week, hopefully tomorrow, for more meta look videos, meta breaker videos, but mostly regional tournament advice videos. Until next time, guys, I'm Wyvern. See y'all in the next video.